Good morning and welcome to GrainTV. It's August 21st, 2012. To my left is Logan Burgess and I'm Brock Shimbino. A couple of bits of information we got out yesterday afternoon. Crop progress and conditions were released by the USDA. We also got the day one results of Pro Farmer's crop tour. First, let's take a look at what happened with crop conditions. Corn was left unchanged on the good to excellent rating, left at 23% good to excellent nationally. Soybeans actually got an upgrade of 1% on the good to excellent rating nationally. These are both in line with what analysts were expecting, so this didn't really affect the market a whole lot as these numbers were released yesterday afternoon. Something that was driving the market into the overnight session was the results of the Pro Farmer crop tour. Logan, what were we looking at there?
Yeah, certainly, Brock. Well, let's take a look here. Yesterday on day one of the Pro Farmer crop tour, they were taking a tour of crops in South Dakota and Ohio. As you can see here, the yield estimates out of South Dakota coming in at 74.26 bushels per acre. That's well below what the USDA came out with in their August report at 98 bushels per acre. And if you extrapolate this across all 5.3 million acres of corn expected to be harvested out of the state of South Dakota, this amounts to about 125 million bushels of corn. So this is a significant downgrade here. As a result here, we're seeing the corn futures really rally here, soybeans as well. If we take a look at Ohio, though, similar story there, not quite as severe, taking about 16 bushels per acre off their yield estimate from what the USDA has projected. So that certainly will be watched here closely. But really, that South Dakota figure there is what's really pushing the trade here this morning.
You know, something else that is pushing the trade, we saw some bean counts of the soybean crops done in those areas as well. Ohio looked like the bean counts were a little bit lower than what they were for Indiana as they moved farther west. So that's something we're going to have to pay attention to as we move forward. A little bit different than what we saw in the corn. Corn in Indiana was a little bit worse off than what it was in Ohio. So
right.
A couple of different stories going on there with the different crops.
Right, certainly. Well, we will get day two here going on right now, the Pro Farmer crop tour. Let's take a look here. They're going to be in Nebraska City, Nebraska here this evening, and Bloomington, Illinois on the eastern leg of the tour there. As you can see, the eastern leg of the tour now is going to be getting into that area that's shown in the red here that is really drought stricken right now. So it's going to be interesting to see yields, what they're finding here today. If we kind of look at the state yield averages to keep in mind here, USDA has Nebraska pegged at 147 bushels per acre. Illinois much lower due to the drought at 116 bushels per acre. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that here. Those numbers coming out this afternoon will certainly be driving the trade. We'll be tweeting about them when those come out on Twitter. At GrainTV is where you can find us. We're going to take a quick commercial break, jump into Fire Tip, take a look at some live quotes. We have soybeans breaking out of the top end of its range here today, and we're also going to take a look at a developing story out of China. We'll be right back.
GrainHedge is more than just futures trading. Clients receive our cash grain optimizer showing spot and forward bids within 200 miles of your farm. We take into account your trucking costs to find your best selling opportunity. We provide in-depth basis mapping, historical basis and cash price charting. Every day we show you your best price and if it meets your profit goals. Contact GrainHedge today to get started.
Welcome back to GrainTV. Soybeans are making new highs. Let's turn over to Fire Tip to check out the live quotes. Old crop corn is up 11.5. New crop is up 10 3/4. Soybeans, old crop, up 39 1/4 cents. Soybeans on the new crop is up 38.5. Wheat in Chicago up 15 1/4, and Kansas City is following along up 13.5.
That's right, Brock. If we take a look here closer at this chart on the right side, this is a daily candlesticks chart of that November delivery soybean contract. As you can see here, back around July 20th, we kind of hit our head against $17 a bushel. We traded lower here, traded around this 20-day moving average here for a bit, and in the last three sessions, we have really rocketed higher here. We broke out of the highs here that we printed there. We're now well above $17 a bushel. Right here, last trade was at $17.20 1/4. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that here as the trade day continues. Will 17 act as support for soybeans? We'll have to watch the close closely. Right now, it certainly looks like it will. One thing that could really affect the soybean complex in general is news out of China right now. Kind of a developing story here. Typhoon Logan right now moving toward making landfall right now. As you can see here, here's kind of what the trade's watching. It's expected to make landfall here this weekend, and the area to really focus on is this area circled in red here. This is where the majority of small grains are produced in China, corn and soybeans. As you can see here, early next week it's expected to make landfall, and we had a story out from Reuters yesterday reporting that this could really damage yields on up to 20% of the corn and soybean crop. Obviously, if China has a short crop this year, a lot of demand is going to be pushed onto U.S. origin grain here, certainly pushing the futures market here today, it looks like. But we'll have to keep you posted here. This is a developing story on China. We just wanted to keep you updated on GrainTV here. I think that kind of wraps up our show here for Tuesday morning. Brock, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.